All right, high grade 7-8. We are doing integers again, looking at order of operations with integers. So yeah, should be good. Okay, so applying integer operations. You want to use the order of operations. So the order of operations, remember, is BEDMAS. Okay. However, it's a bit different here because we don't have exponents. Right. So it says here step 1 brackets, step 2 multiply and divide in order from left to right, and step 3 add and subtract in order from left to right. Okay, so there's just a bunch of different equations that we're going to go through. The first one is negative 15 divided by negative 3 minus positive 4 times negative 2. So what we want to do is it says multiply and divide in order. Okay, what we mean by that is left to right. Okay, so I'm going to look at negative 15 and I'm going to look at negative 3 there first because it's division. Negative 15 divided by negative 3. Okay, well, the answer it says here is positive 5. Remember, all right, a negative and a negative equals a positive and a negative equals a negative and a positive equals a negative, and two positives equals a positive. So we get plus 5, all right? Now I carry that negative or the minus here, and I do the other one. Plus 4 times negative 2. Okay, well, 4 times 2 is 8, all right? And if we look at our rules, we get a negative. So now plus 5 plus 8, okay? The reason why is when you add, all right, and you see, when you see two negatives like that, okay, like these two, you're going to make it into a positive, okay? So our answer goes from plus 5 minus 8 to plus 5 plus 8. So our answer is plus 13, right? And another one here, we have negative 6 minus negative 9 plus negative 14 divided by 2. Okay, so as you can see, first, our first step is to divide. All right, so negative 14 divided by 2. Well, we know 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, and here it's a negative. The rules apply here. We have a negative here and a positive here. Okay, now what we want to do is look at this. Negative 6 minus 9 plus negative 7. Notice how we have negative 6 stays, but then this becomes plus 9 and this becomes a positive. Okay, and we're going to carry this negative 7 there. All right, so negative 6 plus 9 basically is 9 minus 6. So we're going to get plus 3. Okay, here it is. Now we have negative 7 carries over yet again, and we have positive 3 plus negative 7. Okay, well, it's also looking at it the same way. We have negatives, which is higher, so the answer is going to be negative, and we have 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay, finally, the last one here, it's a bit different. All right, we have negative 8 plus negative 2 times 4 plus negative 1. And as you notice, there's brackets. Okay, now they're a bit different than these brackets. All right, in that they basically look like kind of like a half square. Okay, so we have negative 8 plus negative 2 times the equation. Okay, so now what we need to do is do the brackets first. So 4 plus negative 1. Basically, you look at that as 4 minus 1, so our answer is positive 3. Okay, the reason why is because this is higher. All right, so we just minus 1. Okay, now we have negative 8 plus negative 2 times positive 3. Okay, well, negative 2 times positive 3 is our next step because of multiplication, if we look at our BEDMAS. All right, so we have negative 2 times plus 3 is negative 6. If we follow our rules, okay, a positive and a negative will be a negative. All right, 2 times 3, is 6. So now we get negative 8 plus negative 6. Well, if you look at it, if let's say you looked at a number line, you'd have negative 8 first, okay, and then you would add negative 6. So it wouldn't add to positive, it would add to negative. So your answer is going to be negative 14. Okay, you add these two together, all right, because they're both negative and you're adding here, if that makes sense. Okay, we'll do a couple more. These are fairly easy. We'll just do a couple, I guess, here. So when you're looking at BEDMAS, all right, there's no brackets in this first one, A here, all right. There is no division. There is multiplication, though. So we have negative 7 times negative 3. Okay, well, if we remember our rules, 2 negatives equals a positive, so this is going to be plus 21. Okay, so now it's 4 plus positive 4, plus positive 21 is positive 25. Okay, next one, we have brackets this time. All right, and we have plus 6 plus negative 7. Okay, well, what I want to look at first is which one's bigger. Okay, 7's a bigger number, so my answer is going to be negative here. And basically, it's going to be 7 minus 6, which is negative 1. So now we get plus 5 minus 1. And if we remember from the past, 2 negatives when we're adding equals a positive. So here it's going to be plus 1. So now it is plus 5 plus 1 equals plus 6. Make sense? Good. Next one, finally the last one, we have brackets again. Okay, so I'm going to do negative 1 plus negative 7. Okay, well, I'm going to draw a number line out here. All right, let's go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and these are all negative, okay, after 0. So I'm going to look at the first one. I'm going to go, all right, negative 1. Okay, there we are. Okay, now I'm going to add 7 more, but negative. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and my answer is going to be negative 8. All right, so now we get negative 16 divided by 8. Well, 16 divided by 8 is 2. Okay, and if we follow our rules, we get a plus 2 as our answer. Okay, here we go with the last part of our lesson. It is applying integer operations with word problems. As you can see in Piggy's Manitoba, the daily high temperatures for 5 days were negative 2 degrees Celsius, negative 6 degrees Celsius, plus 1 degree Celsius, plus 2 degrees Celsius, and negative 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, what was the mean daily high temperature for those days? So the mean is the average, all right? Think of it that way. And the average, basically what you do is you add your total number of whatever you're adding and then divide it by how many you've used, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 temperatures here, 5 temps, okay? So now what we want to do is negative 2 plus negative 6 plus 1, positive 1, plus positive 2 plus negative 5, all right? So we don't have any division, multiplication, or brackets here. So what we want to do is go left to right. So what I want to do first is negative 2 plus negative 6. Okay, well, when I showed you guys on the number line before, when you add two negatives, okay, basically what you're doing is just adding the two numbers and keeping the sign the same. So we're going to get negative 8. Okay, now we're going to take negative 8, okay, and we're going to go left to right. So we're going to go negative 8 plus 1. All right, well, if I take negative 8, let's say I'm on my number line again, all right, and I'm at 0 here. And I want to add 1 because I'm going positive, okay? It is going to be negative 7, okay? So negative 7. All right, well, now we're at negative 7, so I want to add 2, okay? So I'm going to go 1, 2, okay? 6 and 5. I'm going to get negative 5, okay? Now, we see a bit of a weird thing here, but we're going to go negative 5 plus negative 5, all right? So our answer is going to be negative 10, okay? So our answer with integers is negative 10, okay? The reason why is we have negative 5 and we're adding negatives. So we're going to go to negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10. Okay, now divide by the number of integers. So what that means is we're going to take the total here, okay, which is negative 10, okay, and we're going to divide by 5. And before I said, why 5? Because there are 5 temperatures, okay? If there was 6, we would add a 6 there. If there's a 7, we would add a 7 there, but there's 5 temperatures. So now negative 10 divided by 5, and it is positive 5, okay? Well, if we look at this, a negative and a positive is going to equal a negative, all right? Now 10 divided by 5 is 2. So the mean daily temperature was -2 degrees Celsius. And what that means is, okay, if we took all those temperatures, there were some highs and there were some lows, but the average of all of that was -2.